Hello and welcome to A Minute of Four with me, Ryan Dior, coming to you today from Liz Popple Studios, Dublin. A great clip there from The Promise, a musical written and produced by my guest here today with the song from the clip at the top of the show, Men from Erin. One of my favourite powerful songs from the show. It never fails to move me every time I hear it. More about the musical in a minute. Now, a very special guest here today is a man soon to become a household name worldwide, and he's somewhat of an enigma here in Ireland. A multi-talented man, best known as a musician, singer-songwriter. He's performed internationally throughout Ireland, the United Kingdom, Canada and the USA. He was the first artist to represent Ireland at the Nanning International Music Festival in China, performing before an audience of 80,000 seated and over, get this, 600 million watching live on Chinese television. He's an accomplished author with his mind-blowing novel, The Promise. And already the previews has been described as a brilliant and powerful story. This man has written and produced. Well, I can only describe this musical, The Promise, as one of the best musicals ever written. A musical inspired by a true story taken directly from his novel. The Irish production, I can tell you, is sending earth tremors throughout the world of theatre and is set to take the world by storm. Set in Ireland's turbulent past in the 1800s, three men's paths collide on an Irish battlefield. This is the story of one man's struggle to keep his word to his dying father and fight for freedom. Another man's craving for respect and the need to protect a terrible secret from his past. And the story of a third man's lust and unrelenting pursuit of revenge. But it's also the tale of four different stories, love stories. The first is love made in heaven.
I will be here for you always, believe me. Nothing can keep us apart. I will be here for you whenever you need me. This I promise you from my heart.
The second is love based on a lie.
You have lied to me all of this time? No, this can't be true.
It is true.
The third is love of passion.
You don't really love me.
Oh, no, I don't mean that. I mean that I'm going to ask your father to. Well, I'm going to ask your father to give us permission to be.
To be?
To be married.
Married?
Well, that's if you'll have me.
Have you? I'll die if we're not together. Forever and ever till the end of time. Yes, 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 I will marry you.
The fourth is love that is doomed from the very start.
All I ever wanted, someone to love me as I am. Not to see this cripple, but to gaze upon the man. There is one who loves me, she who calls my name. Her I'd gladly die for, and I never would complain. Look down.
Now, to tell us more, here with me in a very rare interview is the man himself. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and give a warm welcome for my guest, Mr. Paul Redmound. What a welcome you got there.
That's all down to that brilliant introduction you gave me. Wow. Thank you very, very much.
Grab a seat, grab a seat,
Thank you.
Paul.
Thank you.
Great to have you. Wow, what a reception there, eh? You must be more famous than I thought you were.
Wow.
Absolutely fantastic. Fantastic reception.
Well,
now,
that's
tell
down
us
to
about about the battle with Tomas and Sean.
Tomas and Sean. Okay, well, Tomas is the leader of a group of Irish rebels that managed to escape from the last battle on the east coast of Ireland during the 1798 rebellion with about 1,000 of his men.
Yeah.
And they managed to get as far as a little place called Drishog Lane outside a small village called Ballybohol in North County Dublin. There, unbeknownst to him, his young son found him. His little son of about 7 or 8 years of age, Sean.
Yeah.
And He had run away from home
Yeah.
to be with his father.
Yeah.
And his excuse for, well, what are you doing here, son, was that he brought with him his father's fiddle and bow.
Yeah.
And saying, well, you never go anywhere without these, Dad.
Yeah.
But the father, unbeknownst to the son, has just decided that he is not going to surrender, because he finds that they're surrounded now by the redcoats. They were trying to get away from the hill of Tara where the last battle was, and they were being followed closely by the redcoats pursuing them. But literally they ran into then another army of redcoats coming out, British soldiers coming out of Swords, the town of Swords. And so outside Ballyball, Thrishog Lane, they were cornered, surrounded, and ordered to surrender. And Tomas decided no, he wasn't going to. And the rest of his men followed him. And they charged headlong into the guns and were slaughtered to a man. But before all of that, his son arrives at the wrong moment, quite literally. So horrified at the thoughts of his son seeing what's going to take place, and also the fact that he was in tremendous fear that he himself would be killed, he ordered him to hide behind a
like
rock.
any father would.
Yeah, definitely. But the little boy, his son, Sean, had found a blade, the tip of a broken blade of a knife or something, and he attached it to the top end of the bow, stuck it on. And I'm sure many of your listeners or viewers would have in the past, when they maybe playing swords and knights and
like you do in the playground,
and just playing and pretending fighting. So he basically attaches the blade to the tip of the bow, and that's his weapon. And his father sees this and is kind of horrified that a beautiful musical instrument can now be turned into a savage instrument of war.
Now, just hang on a second there now. Just let's have a little look at the clip.
Okay.
The men are tired, but we can't stop now. They nearly have us surrounded. Once we get over the next hill, we'll be home free. What the hell are you doing here, son?
Thomas, you've got to get out of here.
Run home, son, back the way you came.
But I can't, Dad. The redcoats are coming that way.
Oh, dear God, there's no way out. You've got to hide him, Thomas.
I'm proud of you, son, but you should not be here. Your day will come, but it is not this day. So you run away to join the army, did you?
Yes, sir.
Want to be a soldier, do you?
Yes, sir.
Then the first thing a soldier must learn to do is to obey orders.
Yes, sir.
Then my first order to you is to hide back there till I send for you. That's an order, soldier.
Brilliant. Now, tell us a little bit more about the love stories. And I believe there's 4 love stories as said in the intro.
Yeah.
There's one of passion and love, and one a lie. Tell us a little bit about them, briefly.
Okay, the passion, the one you've just mentioned, passion.
Don't give it all away.
Well,
now.
that would be Sean's. That would be a love between Sean when he grows up. Like this story covers 30 years. So when Sean has grown up. He's the only one to survive the battlefield. That's the little boy. He's grown up, and he's the only one to survive. Tomas's son, get away with his life, and he marries his sweetheart, called Quiva, and that's a marriage made in heaven. And they're mad, passionately in love with each other.
Oh, lovely.
And they have a young son as well. When they call him, in typical Irish fashion, Sean Og. Og meaning young Sean in the Gaelic.
Like they do. And then there's the lie. Briefly on that. Don't give too much away.
Okay, well, one of the other relationships in this key relationships are Lord and Lady Ulvey. Yeah. They're the landed gentry.
They got, I believe he got his title under dubious circumstances.
Simply put, he was the young officer.
Can we just pause there, Paul, just for a second, sure. Because I believe we've just got a clip coming up of that.
The jackpot, we're bloody rich! This gold is the property of the crown. Stealing any of it, see you stand before a firing squad.
You've got to be kidding me, sir. There's enough to make us bloody well.
I said, Corporal Talbot, I am confiscating this gold for the crown.
Brilliant. And I'm so excited, isn't it? And the next love story is?
Well, Lord and Lady Ulvey, would just happen to have a young daughter called Sunise.
Yeah, I was talking about the title there, Sunise. They got the title, didn't I? I said earlier, under dubious circumstances.
Oh, yes, yes.
But I sort of liked him.
Well, he was the young officer in charge of the Redcoats at the Battle of Drogheda. He was only 18 years of age, and it was his first engagement. But he is how would I put it? He's an officer and a gentleman, and gentleman being the ultimate word.
Yeah.
A decent sort of person.
He came across that to me anyway.
Although he is corrupted, because later on then...
Gambling debts.
Well, no, later on he goes and he actually campaigns during the Napoleonic Wars. And he's then brought up to the, how would I put it? He is promoted and in charge of an elite unit that operates behind enemy lines, a bit like the commandos of today.
Yeah.
But in one of the, I suppose, sorties that he had, he actually stumbles across a treasure. And instead of handing it up, he takes it for himself. And so that's how he then has the money to buy himself a title. He meets the original Lord Ulvey, who is bankrupt, and from gambling debts. You're quite right there.
Yeah.
And so,
see, I pay attention when I go and see a musical, especially one of this ilk.
Okay.
And I believe he was his land tenants. Were taking it back when they thought this could be a decent landlord.
Yeah, well, I suppose the typical image of an absentee or English landlord at the time was somebody who really just didn't care as long as they got the money.
They got the money, they didn't care whether they lived or hand to mouth or whether they perished.
But again, this man was different, as indeed were many of the landlords. This man, as I say, was a gentleman.
Yeah. What's that lovely song of the wife? There's a lovely song of... was it the Lord and the Wife? Or
well, they do a lovely duet.
The duet, what is that?
You Are My Rose.
You Are My Rose, that's
You Are My Rose, yeah. The two of them do a beautiful, beautiful duet.
Let's have a little look at that. Wonderful. You've written all these, haven't you? Absolutely.
I've had great fun. Just great fun writing.
Fun.
Nice.
You're a very talented man.
Well,
very talented
thank
man.
You very much.
And then there's the Lark, the song The Lark. They're all beautiful songs, but Men of Erin caught me from the start. I think maybe because that was an opening song of Act 1, wasn't it?
Well, it explodes. It explodes onto the stage.
Absolutely.
And you need something to really get you.
And then the song that the sort of the lady up on, she's got the veil.
Yeah. Well, the typical Irish lament is what I wanted, you know. And the Lark of Ballybohol is a very, very sad, lonely song.
Who sleeps so still beneath the walls of an old grey church there? My love lies cold on a graveyard hill.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Remember, man, that thou art dust, and to dust thou shalt return. We put our friend John Stafford in the ground. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, and we had a lovely girl there called Donna Roach, all the way from Waterford, and superb singer. And
Absolutely
thankfully she'll be with us again.
It pulls you in, doesn't it? The song pulls you into the stage.
Haunting, yes.
Absolutely,
Yes, indeed,
haunting,
indeed,
that's the word, haunting.
Indeed.
We'll be back in 5. Welcome back. I'm here with my guest, Paul Redmound. Yeah, and tell me, with the Redcoats and the promise.
The little son sees the advancing Redcoats coming to
Great little actor.
Oh yeah, he wasn't he fantastic. To finish off the dying rebels, and so the little boy struggles to raise his father's pike, and the pike is twice the size he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only 7, 8 years of age,
Yeah.
but the courage within him, and he is a little rebel in his own heart. And the father realising this,
And he also sings a
down.
beautiful song, doesn't he? It's a lament, is it? He sings a lovely song. What's the
My promise is.
Obviously, my promise is, of course.
Where he promises to his
And
dying
that's what it's
father,
all
yeah.
about, really, isn't it? The promise.
Yeah, that he'll never use violence, that he will strive for freedom, but through peaceful means.
Let's have a little look at the song.
Yeah.
I have to find a way, a peaceful way to make Aaron free. Shed no more blood. Promise me, son. Promise me now.
Yes, Father, I promise. I'll try to find another way. Please don't die. My promise is my soul to keep. When I wake and as I sleep, my promise is my solemn vow. With hand on heart, I give it now. For all the things that I say and do, this my pledge I give to you.
He's going to go far, that young lad, isn't he?
Yes, indeed.
Is he going to be the
No, unfortunately, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And the chances are
his voice is broke?
Well, apart from that, he's aged 2 years. He's gotten too old.
Oh, God love him.
You know,
But
we'll probably
a brilliant
have to
song,
find
an absolutely brilliant song.
a little boy now.
Fantastic song, you know.
Thank you very much.
And
yeah.
tell me a little bit about the characters.
Well, we've left out the baddie.
Exactly.
In all, shall we say, good stories, there's a baddie. Okay.
The baddie.
We have the
He's
hero.
the one with the London accent.
Yeah, he's a Cockney, and he grew up on the streets of London. He was the son of a prostitute, abandoned to the workhouse. So he's had a hard start from the very beginning. Nobody's ever done him any favours. Yeah. And he ends up
You instantly don't like him as soon as he makes a presence.
He's sly and conniving and bitter. I basically see him as a psychopath. You know, he loves torture, he loves killing and violence.
Absolutely.
And but the man is practically insane from being locked up for 20 years in a French prison for war crimes, basically. And he is the corporal who, at the very beginning, then actually...
He's a great singer, though, and he sings an absolutely beautiful song, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What is that song?
His song is Revenge.
Revenge.
And he sings it with such...
Revenge from the Bastille.
Oh.
Shall we have a quick look at that?
Why not? Why not? Killian Donnelly.
Yes, revenge has kept me sane, has kept me whole, and I will make this Lord sell it very soul. Inside of these, I'll take it mine. I'll be the first. He'll be the one. Take pity, Lord. Have mercy. I'll shower none as he showed me.
Paul, tell us a little bit more about the Jeannie Johnston story.
The Jeannie Johnston is a beautiful replica famine ship that is now moored on the River Liffey in Dublin. And 13 years ago, my best friend came home from Australia, an emigrant, and we at Christmas time, and we went with my 4 young kiddies at the time into the city of Dublin to just spend the day together. And one of the first things we did was visit this ship. Because I'm an ex-sailor, I ran away from home at 16 to join the Merchant Navy.
You did?
I did indeed. So any chance to get on board.
It's all coming out now. You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
I have to be careful what I say here. A replica famine ship. I mean, basically, for all intents and purposes, it could be a pirate ship. To my kids, that's what it was. So when we went on board and I went down below decks, they have it laid out in the famine times. The mannequins are dressed in the period costumes and so forth. And it's quite spooky, you know, when you go, woo. And for somebody like me, that's like throwing petrol onto a fire, because my imagination went into overdrive. And I found myself walking the floor at 3 and 4 o'clock the following morning, a.m., not being able to sleep because a song was forming in my brain. And I didn't want to write a song about the sea and a sea shanty, because there's loads of those. And I also didn't want to write a song about the famine. That's a bit kind of heavy. So in my mind, I visualized a husband and wife, and that moment in time when they have to close the door on their little whitewashed thatched cottage somewhere in Ireland.
And leave it forever.
And leave it forever because of the famine. They were starving to death. They were penniless.
Cruel times, weren't they?
Over 1 million Irish people died of starvation.
Yeah.
It's hard to... 1 million Irish people dying of starvation. 1 million people in Europe dying of starvation.
Potato blight.
The great
it was all over Europe.
Famine, yeah. And at least 2 million sailed away from Ireland to... most of them to America, and quite a number also to the UK as well, and to Europe. Yeah. But so I wanted to capture that moment, that the very last moment when they have to close the door and leave everything behind, and the love between them, the courage and the desperation, and the hope for a new tomorrow.
Let's just have a look at that clip.
Across Blue Waters.
A wonderful sound.
We will sail across blue waters to a land across the sea, in a ship they call the Johnston. There's a place for you and me, and we will sail across blue waters to a land across the sea. Come, my love, it's time to go now. The genie waits for you and me.
The spirit of the gale is in us. 10,000 years we've stood alone. The spirit of the gale will guide us, and where we land will call our home. And as we yearn for a new tomorrow, a chance to live and dream once more, forget we not our Irish homeland. Our children's child will find her shore.
What a beautiful song. I mean, it was worth you waiting and tramping the boards to get that right. What a beautiful song
that was the very first song of the whole musical, and it ended up being the last song. Which
so
is
you started.
typical.
You started from back.
Well, I never actually started to do this. This is something that has just evolved. I always believe in my own heart that I'm on a spiritual journey. I'm not in charge of this. I've often likened myself to being on a surfboard on top of a tsunami and hanging on for dear life.
Right, now I believe you've got a pack here.
That's it.
Absolutely.
A patron pack.
A patron pack.
Patron pack.
Absolutely fantastic value for money. I'll leave it to you to tell them. Okay. This is the ticket. You get a ticket. You get the pack here, which contains the programme, the book, the promise, obviously, the book, and the musical,
CD.
the CD, the promise. You get this, that entry into the show with your ticket, and that can be framed, can't it? Sold on eBay.
Well, I'll sign them on the night.
It has become viral.
As well, yeah.
So there's that. So tell us how you can get hold of.
Okay,
these.
all of these.
The audience, you hear the audience there. Yes, you can get yours after the show. Come down after the show, yeah. But tell us where you can get them.
Okay. Well, all of these are available online from our website, thepromisemusical.com. Yeah. The album itself can be downloaded. Well, the album can be downloaded for €10 off iTunes or off our website.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to download something, but want to actually physically buy the album, again, we'll post that to you as well if you contact us via our website, thepromisemusical.com.
Well worth it. I got it and I just can't take it off. It's brilliant.
You can even buy one song for 99 cents.
Right, I don't think you'd be buying one. Buy the album. I can guarantee you. Once you leave your destination, you got to if it's a 2-hour drive, you're there before you know it. You put this on, it's absolutely, it's fantastic. But always drive safely.
I'm relying on people now to
Now, tell us
to
how much
support
it
me.
is for this pack.
The whole lot, the patron pack is €50. €50.
€50 for everything.
Everything. It'll
for
make
the
a
book, the programme, the CD, and entry into the show.
Yeah.
No wonder the audience is going mad. Yes, 50. After the show, you can get that.
Okay. And they'll make a fantastic Christmas present.
Christmas present too.
Coming up.
No. After the show. After the show.
Yeah. And we will actually have them gift wrapped in a Christmas sleeve, for the want of a better word.
Oh, love, and even gift wrapped for €50.
Yeah,
Where could you get a West End show? Take a West End show in for £50, €50. 100 quid was the last West End show I visited. Absolutely brilliant. I think you're selling yourself cheap here with this.
No. Well, again, you see, the Promise musical, I call it the People's musical.
Yeah.
Because, as I say, ordinary people, just like you and me, have helped to put the Promise on the stage.
Right.
Okay, there's been no major investors or supporters of any description. Ordinary people have put their hand in their pockets and got the Promise musical to where it is today over the last 13 years.
Yeah.
And so we're going to keep on going that way.
So when is it on again? And I'm going to talk a little bit about the director. I want to get the director in.
The next time the Promise is going on
and it's
stage,
going to be filmed live, isn't it?
Oh, it's going to be broadcast live.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on in a beautiful theatre, a brand new theatre in the town of Drogheda.
Drogheda.
Which is north of Dublin. Okay, it's about 40 minutes drive north of Dublin. And it's called the TLT in Drogheda. It'll all be on our website, thepromisemusical.com. And it's on from the 3rd to the 20th of March 2015. So next March, from the 3rd to the 20th, we're in Drogheda. Right. And we're actually, I can tell you now, okay, this is exclusive, that we're actually going to be broadcasting the show live across the world on 3 continents.
I believe so.
And that's history in the making.
Even China with 600 million. History in the making, that is. So if you want to be part of history, you get your tickets, get your pack here, €50, and get yourself on television, shown to 600 million. That's only in China. I believe it's going to the US.
Yeah, we're going coast to coast with Comcast.
It's gone global. Yeah. I'll certainly be there.
And even Sky are getting in on the act.
Sky are getting in there too.
Sky 191.
And of course, our studios will be down there. Our cameras will be down there too, from Liz Popple Studios, to film the whole event.
There's going to be some party.
It's going to be some party. I'm going to be there. Now listen, I believe we've all heard of the last fantastic show to come out of here, Ireland, The River Dance, Michael Flatley, directed by...
well, it was produced by John McColgan and Maya Doherty.
Musical director.
No, the musical director was my very, very good friend, David Hayes.
Imagine forgetting that. The same musical director that directed Riverdance is directing, this new Irish phenomenon, The Promise.
That's right, David,
The same director. Tell me a little bit about him.
David is an enigma in his own right.
Absolutely.
He is something else, an incredibly, incredibly talented man. And he's actually sort of gone into semi-retirement only recently. And I was kind of worried when I met with him. I said, "You're retiring?" Because he's taking up a teaching position now in Cork. And he says, "I'm retiring from most things, but not from The Promise."
No.
So he said,
from
"No,
The Promise,
he said, this is going. This is going to be the very first Irish musical to make it outside of Ireland."
Yeah.
And he said, no, other than Riverdance, we always classify Riverdance as a dance show.
Spectacular.
It's a phenomenal show, absolutely phenomenal. But in the lines of, say, Phantom of the Opera, Les Mis, West Side Story, that kind of musical theatre.
Well, as I said, it's literally sending earth tremors through the world of theatre. As we speak, people are and especially when this goes out, they're going to go absolutely ballistic to get... listen to the audience there after a pack. So we're not going to get out of this studio for another couple of hours yet.
I think I might have a bit of writer's cramp after this, signing tickets and books and so forth.
So what is going to be your next project? I mean, dare me to ask and be so bold to ask so soon. Have you even thought about
Oh,
that?
I have.
You're on, I know you're on a road train now.
Oh yeah.
With this.
Well, the most important thing for immediately now is to get the Promise next March, put it up there on the world stage. After that, then we actually want to take it to all the stages in the world. I want this to go to the West End. I want it to go to all
It's there.
coast to
It's
coast
it's
in
there.
America.
It's there.
Well,
I know you want, but it's there because it's a musical that's gone viral.
Well, we will need promoters to get in touch with us and so forth to take it on board and things like that. But after that, then the Promise, in actual fact, is part of a trilogy. I actually have 3 musicals.
That's where
The
I was
Promise,
going with that.
Searching for Ellie, and then I haven't finalised the third one, the name for it. I have it all there. I know it. I know what I'm doing, and I'm also working on a 4th one. It's called Brothers in Arms, because in 2016, in Ireland and in Dublin in particular, there will be the commemoration of the last basically. Rising, the 1916 Rising, which took place during the First
Michael
World
Collins
War. Collins was in it, and actually, if you remember the film Michael Collins, the very opening scene of the Battle of the GPO, which was horrendous.
It was absolutely.
Well, I'm writing a musical called Brothers in Arms.
Brothers in Arms, nothing to do with the status quo hit.
Even it was Dire Straits.
Dire Straits,
yeah.
Dire Straits.
Yeah. No. But
I'm no good at
there's
pop.
a story there. There's a story there. All right. And that's another one cooking. It's on the back burner. I have to get this one though first. I want to focus totally on the Promise now.
Well, listen. They can get hold of this pack from your website, and they just give that once more. It's thepromisemusical.com, and you can also get Paul on Facebook. And you can even contact the studios, Liz Popple Studios here in Dublin, if you're struggling on all the lines, of which I very much doubt you won't be. So you can contact the studios here, Paul Flanagan, and you can get details from there. The website.
He'll love you for that.
Absolutely. No, the lines are going to be blocked, and we've got the studio audience here clambering at the bit, biting at the bit to get hold of this pack. So the packs you've bought today will be gone here today. And as I say, as a Christmas present, what a great idea, Paul. A Christmas, can you imagine that wrapped up? €50, and that gets you your ticket as well, your entry ticket, the CD, I'm not going to go over it again, the book, which is a fantastic read. So get online now and go to the website www.thepromisemusical.com, and as I said, you've got all the other numbers there just at the bottom of your screen. You'll see them, so get your pen out and get that down and get in early, because you'll have a job when this goes viral.
Sorry, Ryan, can I just interrupt you there?
Of course.
Can I actually take this opportunity both to thank you and all of the wonderful, wonderful people that have supported me and the Promise over the past 13 years. And in particular, I want to say a big, big thank you to Paul Flanagan and his lovely wife Brenda and Liz Popple Studios.
Yeah, Paul Flanagan, that's the producer, the owner and producer of the Liz Popple Studios here in Dublin. And of course,
unbelievable.
The people with vision, Eamon and Ovidio.
Ovidio,
yeah, absolutely
great
brilliant
guys,
crew. Of course, and to you, the studio audience, absolutely fantastic. Well, listen, I'm going to throw you to the lions now. You hear them dying for. So listen, thank you very, very much indeed. And I certainly, for one, look forward to seeing you in March, and I'll be at that show.
I sincerely hope so.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Redmound.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Listen to that.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, and to you at home, well, what a remarkable man and his musical, The Promise. Guaranteed the next huge production to come out of Ireland. Now, don't miss your chance to be a part of history, and be sure to book your seats when it tours very soon. Until next time, look after yourselves, and may your God go with you.